Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor, coming live once again from the city of Hamilton here in beautiful New Zealand, like every Tuesday, which is my routine, and of my wonderful, awesome team of people from AJV Services Limited, which is a New Zealand based company, and we are all about providing pathways for young people and not so young people from different parts of the world who would like to come into New Zealand on a temporary or on a more permanent basis. So, as a company based here in New Zealand, my team and I, we are a team of 35 people spread across different parts of the world. About five of us are present here in New Zealand, and the bulk of our team works out of India, which is our biggest market at the moment. And then we also have one colleague working out of the US. So, yeah, that's us. And we hope to eventually have our representatives in all the big markets across the world, and that's our aspiration. But the reason I sit here and I talk to you week after week is because I am what is known as a licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. That is my license there, and it is issued by somebody called the Immigration Advisors Authority, right down there, and that is a department of the government of New Zealand, which basically, kind of controls the immigration advisors who are providing information and services to prospective people who would like to come to New Zealand, either to study here or to work here or to live here permanently or to establish businesses here or to invest in New Zealand or just come for a holiday and go away. So the government realized that we are a hot destination in the sense like we don't have a lot of heat as such, but we are hot in the sense of a lot of people having New Zealand on their bucket list, and a lot of people want to come. And so there was this prior to 2007, which is when this particular law was passed. Just about anybody was, and everybody was giving advice about how people could come into New Zealand, and the government, kind of sat back and said, okay, what's happening is not correct because a lot of people are getting incorrect advice and they're landing here with the wrong expectations. So they said, okay, let's start regulating this industry. So they came out with this law called the Immigration Advisors Licensing Act, and because of which I now need to have that license, and I could get that license after I completed that particular course there, which is called the Graduate Certificate in New Zealand Immigration Advice, and I have something called a full license, which allows me to talk about the entire range of legal possibilities into moving into New Zealand. And that's the reason I come here every week and talk to all you guys and girls out there who are considering coming to New Zealand for whatever reasons. We are here to provide that fantastic information, support, and friendship from our side. All right, guys, as always, I'll be supported by my wonderful, awesome team who supports me on Skype during these sessions. And I actually got a bit rushed today because I was trying to take out a new printout. I might as well start it with that today because, I normally used to have another printout about how to contact us, but I'm going to hold it there. I think, yeah, okay. So we have now set up multiple ways in which you guys can and girls can contact us. So we have now clearly broken it up if you're in India or if you're in New Zealand. So if you're in India, we have set up that toll-free number and also that SMS. But if you're not from India or from New Zealand, you can just email us either to info@AJV Global or to any of these or to immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com. If you're already present in New Zealand and you want further advice about studies or business or migrating or work visas, just pick up your phone and call us on. We've set up a toll-free number in New Zealand as well, which is very cool, by the way. The toll-free number is 0800 696977, which if you check on your keypad, will read as 0800 my NZPR, which is permanent residency, which is what a lot of you guys would and girls would be looking for. So that's what it is all about. I'm coming live on 3 or 4 different places at the same time. I'm coming live on my personal YouTube channel, and then we have a channel for AJV services called AJV Global. So I'm coming live on that as well. and I'm coming live on my personal Facebook ID, and I'm also coming live on the official AJV services group called NZ Options. So that's a group where we have good, intimate conversations with people who are keen to come to New Zealand. And I'm also coming live on our Facebook page called AJV Global, which is available to you on Facebook. So yeah, no. So many different ways where you guys can connect with us, and we're trying to make it easier and easier for you guys. And so we've recently, that's the last thing we set up. We set up something called the short code service in India because the bulk of our clients are coming from India at the moment. So, we set that up. And if you want to come to New Zealand, all you've got to do is send a text to that number there, 562 633, and we will get your telephone number and our team will get back in touch with you and you can talk to us. Hey guys, before I forget, I also want to tell you that I'm going to be in India this month. Woohoo! I'm coming back again for not only meeting my amazing team and doing a bit of training with them, but we are also having a client interaction. I would love to meet some of our students who are already working with us and some of our, spouse clients, so on and so forth. But I would also love to meet a lot of you new guys and girls who are probably keep watching my videos and wondering, okay, should I not, should I not come over to the Ramada Hotel in Juhu in Mumbai on the 28th of this month. I'm going to be there, and you could also send us a text to that number 562 633. Just send a text saying yes, yes, to 562 633 if you're in Bombay or in Mumbai, or if you're in some of the nearby towns and you'd like to come and see us. Absolutely, it'll be a pleasure, absolute delight to come and meet you guys and girls and share my experiences and knowledge. I promise you, I'll be exactly the same way. I'll still be in this t-shirt of mine sitting there and talking to all of you and having a gala time. And I promise you, I'm also very good at making you guys laugh. So let's get going. All right. So here we are. Question from Sanjay Kumar. He says, I got an offer from AUT for Masters in Information Security. How good is the placements opportunity? Sanjay, you have not mentioned whether you are a student of AJV, but I mean, irrespective of that, I think I'm just going to take a moment, guys. I'm just going up to my chat. Okay. So, irrespective of our whether you applied through AJV or not, your course choice is very good. Masters in Information Security is fantastic. Information security is the buzzword today in around the world, because as more and more of us keep using the internet, obviously there are more and more security breaches occurring. So absolutely, it's going to be the future. So very well done with your choice of subject and choice of course as well. You're coming at a master's, which means you get your 3 years post-study work visa, and you're going to AUT University, which is one of the best universities here in New Zealand. And I've had a fantastic long-term relationship with them, and I think you will do well going there. You have not mentioned whether you're coming to New Zealand through AJV. I hope you're coming to New Zealand through AJV, because in this puzzle called succeeding in New Zealand, you need three or four components. You need the right country, which you have chosen, which is New Zealand. You need the right course, which you have chosen. You need the right college, which you have chosen. You need to do it at the right cost, which I think you have already identified. And the last, but probably not the least, and probably the most important, Sanjay, is the right consultant. I call this the 5C approach towards succeeding in New Zealand. So country, course, college, cost, consultant, and career. Actually, 6Cs, not even 5Cs. You need to have all these come together. And who's the best person to guide you at each and every step is a good consultant, a good agency like AJV, which is present in New Zealand. In fact, yesterday or day before yesterday, one of our students arrived from Kerala, and she has arrived for a course at University of Waikato. After this live session, I'm going to be picking up the phone and giving her a call, welcoming her, ensuring she's comfortable, she's there, any issues to sort it out, and so on and so forth. And her relationship with us as a company is going to continue for the next few years. That is the most important thing that you guys and girls need to consider before you're coming to New Zealand is who is going to be your coach, who is going to be a mentor, who is going to be a guide, who is going to be your friend after you reach New Zealand. Yeah, there are a lot of companies which will do your admission and visa and put you on a plane and say all the best and send you away, but the drama starts after you land here in New Zealand, and that is where you really require that a proper good coach, because we are all in the World Cup scenario right now. Even Virat Kohli takes his batting coach, his fielding coach, his overall coach, his fitness coach, everybody, they all go with this, high level professional people who are playing cricket at an international level. So taking your coach along with you is very important. And so just coaching you in India or wherever you are and saying, okay, that's the course, that's the college, all the best, go do well, is very different from the approach that we guys take at AJV, because we would like to continue to walk with you, hold your hand, and continue to be a coach at each and every step of the way. And that is the big reason why you guys and girls need to choose AJV, because we are your lifelong coaches working with you. I'm still in touch with some of my clients from 10, 15 years ago, and they still talk to me and they're still asking us advice about what homes to buy, which schools their kids go to. So that relationship is continuing. That's what we are promising you guys. All right. So please, choose wisely. If you are keen about succeeding in New Zealand, I think you need to work with AJB. So overall, Sanjay, all the components look good. I only hope you're also working with AJB. All right. Cool. I get excited, don't I, talking about New Zealand and AJV. I think it's one of the most exciting things I do week after week. Okay, cool. Right, my team is pretty silent, which means I'm doing well. No complaints. All right, so moving on. Next question is from Tasneem Kabir. It has been about 3 months of my visa submission, but no update. So how can I know my application update? Again, Tasneem, you have not mentioned if you're an AJV client. Actually, good point you brought up, because excuse me, guys. It's a very good point you brought up, because it's an ongoing issue for students, for institutions, for companies, agencies like us, for immigration department itself, and for New Zealand industry, the education industry as a whole. It has been a very, very frustrating few months. We've actually been experiencing this all the way from the January, February, March intake as well. And I've talked about this quite extensively in my last two or three um, sessions as well, but I'm going to dwell upon it one more time. Is this was a big crisis that occurred because of a lot of unfortunate factors that kind of came together at the same time. Reorganization within INZ, massive spurt in applications, and a few other things. It all came together at the wrong time. They're trying very hard to push them along, and we from our side are doing everything possible to push our student applications. In fact, just before I got onto this live session, I was emailing some more senior level people in different places, telling them, hey, look, we need your support on these applications. So that's what we are doing. And we are also, because by virtue of the fact that I'm a licensed immigration advisor and I have two other colleagues who are also licensed immigration advisors. In fact, last month, I went to India and I actually met the head of the immigration department of New Zealand, and I requested her saying, hey, look, we are all about promoting New Zealand the right way, the ethical way, the professional way. So it will be awesome if you can give us some consideration. So we're doing everything from our side. And one of our students commented saying that, hey, look, in your live sessions, you mentioned that there are ex-immigration officers on your team, and because of that, there is some kind of perceived advantage. I think I need to clarify that very, very clearly. Yes, we are fortunate to have some ex-immigration officers on our team, and we are very privileged and honored to have them as our colleagues today on AJV. But the point is, just having people who work for the immigration department of New Zealand does not mean that we will get any undue advantage from the immigration department. It does not work like that. The immigration department of New Zealand is a highly professional, highly accountable organization. So they will not just do favors to somebody because their ex-friend or ex-colleague is now working for AJV services. So please dispel that notion from your minds. If at all it means anything, it is just that perceptionally and image wise, Immigration New Zealand knows that AJV services is owned and operated by a full licensed advisor, and we have few other licensed advisors on our team, and that we have some ex-immigration officers on our team, and some more of our team members are going to get their license. So and we have a 91% success rate with our applications. There has never been a decline of our student visa applications because of character issues or fraudulent documents. If they got declined, it was because of medical reasons, or the students couldn't do very well on their interviews. So there were no adverse comments as such about AJB. And all these things are perceptional, markers which will sit in the head of an immigration officer, and that's the advantage you will get working with HJV. So, but kindly do not assume that just because I went and met the immigration head in Mumbai, or that we have some ex-immigration officers of New Zealand who are now part of Team HAV, it will not give us any undue advantage as such, and nor are we people who will ever take undue advantage of our personal contacts, because our personal contacts are our personal contacts, but our professional contacts is a completely different ball game. And like I said, we are a New Zealand company owned and operated by a New Zealander. I'm a Kiwi. I go around this world with a New Zealand passport, and we will play by the New Zealand rules. And if there is a delay and it's occurring, we will, of course, gently and politely and professionally keep asking for those push. But kindly do not assume that we have some kind of inside line to immigration officers. That is far from the truth. But professionally, we will continue to exert gentle and professional pressure. All right. Thanks, guys, for. And Tasnim, I think I'm not sure if you've applied through us, but if you have applied through us, I think I've answered all the efforts that we're putting in. If you have not applied through us, please go back to the agency who did your visa application, or if you did it yourself, well, I guess you just have to wait and see what's going to happen. All right, cool. Sam Bim Bam, interesting name, Sam Bim Bam. Okay, my wife got 3 years working visa in Hastings, nice town. She applied for skilled migrant visa, and she included me and our daughter. How long it will take our visas to be issued? Me and my daughter waiting. Hey, look, Sam, we are not representing you. I don't think we you applied for your resident visa through AJV, because if you had, then we could have given you a very concrete answer, because then we have all the background about your applications, your wife's background, your background, so on and so forth. But because you have not applied, I don't know. I mean, you might just have to wait, because there is a bit of a wait even locally here in New Zealand, onshore as well. There has been a bit of wait for resident visa applications. So I would suggest just hang in there or call the contact center, but more than likely it's going to take a few months at the least. So I think you just have to wait and watch. One good advantage for you is that you apply. I think if your wife is working in Hastings, it's because it's not in Auckland. There might be a slightly faster processing is my assumption, but like I said, you just have to wait and watch. All right, cool. Somebody called King Ashutosh says, I need job, and is from Nepal, but King Ashutosh has not shared his kingly phone number, so I will not be able to, answer his question. Guys, rules of the game, you want an answer from me, Arun Jacob, you will have to share your contact numbers. And if you are an AJV student or client, please mention that in your query, because then I'll be able to customize my answers to that. And as I keep saying, rather openly and without any problems whatsoever, these sessions are meant for our AJV students and our clients, and those of you who would like to become AJV students and AJV clients. This is not a charity run by AJV services. This is not something I do as my goodwill towards mankind. No, I do this to sit here and converse with my students and my colleagues, and my the people who follow our work. That's what it's all about. Okay, but and which is the reason I'm going to answer Jacob Matthews' question, because Jacob is one of our students, and I just got feedback from one of our team leaders called Talika that Jacob is actually one of our students, and he is working with one of my colleagues in India called Jagruti. Fantastic advisor, by the way. I'm going to quickly read the feedback from the team, Jacob, so that I can. Okay, rightio. Okay, cool. So Jacob Matthew says, and by the way, good to meet another Jacob, Jacob Matthew. I'm in a dilemma now. I've also applied to NMIT and waiting for the response, but as I did some research, I can't find enough opportunities in Nelson. Should I opt for WinTech rather than NMIT? Was there a previous question from Jacob which I missed? Or it looks like it's only half the question here. But anyway, I think I have the rest of the question here. Is my team gives the feedback, Jacob, that you have an unconditional offer letter from WinTech, which is here in Hamilton, uh, and uh, and but you want a second opinion from me whether to choose WinTech or NMIT, as WinTech is offering a graduate diploma with a 2 years post-study work visa, and NMIT is a postgraduate diploma with a 3 years work visa. Okay, possibility. Jacob, there is no doubt that you have to go for the course which is going to offer you the longer post-study work visa. 12 extra months or a whole year extra is a lot of advantage, Jacob. You could be lucky and you might hit that particular job. And because you're coming for IT, from what I can see, I think you will be quite well placed to pick up a job quite quickly after you complete your course. But having that extra 12 months or 1 year is also useful because sometimes these things take time. And don't worry about the fact that Nelson does not have enough opportunities. I agree. Nelson is not as big a city as Hamilton is, or Auckland is, or Wellington is, or Christchurch is. But the fact of the matter is, when you are studying, it does not matter what is the size of the city where you're in, because you can study in Nelson, which by virtue of being a smaller city will also, kind of have slightly lower cost of living as compared. There will be part-time work, so you should be able to pick up some kind of part-time work for sure. So you'll be able to also take care of yourself with some of the expenses. So that's not a problem. NMIT is a fantastic institution. A lot of our students have gone there, and we have a very good rapport with the institution. So even if there is an issue with them, we can kind of step in and sort out. And bottom line, Jacob, is that you are not going to stay in Nelson for the rest of your life. There is no law in New Zealand which says that when you get your post-study work visa, you have to pick up a job only in the city where you studied. It's simply not there. So I would recommend study at choose NMIT, not because Wintech is a bad institution. I love Wintech as much as I love NMIT. But right now, I have to be clear to my student who's asking me a question and saying, hey, look, which one do I choose? And I'm telling you, just choose the one for which you're getting the longer work visa, the 3 years post-study work visa, because it might take you 2 years just to find your kind of feet around New Zealand, and in the third year you might actually hit that job which will lead to your residency. So big advantage. Please choose NMIT. Go for your postgraduate diploma at NMIT, and it's a fantastic institution, and I'm sure you will do well. All right, okay, cool. I hope I've answered your question, Jacob. Okay, it's okay. So I have a good feedback from a guy called Yazim Latif, who says, I have a suggestion to Mr. Arun Jacob. It would be highly appreciated if he could reduce my hand movements in general and overall body movements. It's really distracting. Yazim, it's simple, Yazim. You've got to open another tab and just listen to my audio, because you don't have to watch my body movements. But hey, look, I think I appreciate your feedback. Any feedback is good feedback. And I think it's just my personality trait. My team keeps telling me as well, saying that I can't stay quiet for more than 5 minutes, and I have to crack some silly joke or the other. So just my personality disorder, actually, I would think. But hey, look, much appreciated. I will try and reduce my hand movements. But what the heck? I thought I had a fan following because of just who I am, and here somebody suddenly coming and telling me to change my personality. Sorry, Azim, I'm going to stop being your friend. Okay, that was a joke. Okay, cool. But hey, look, any kind of feedback is welcome. All right, cool. Yes, sir, Liana Patirana. Hi, Arun. I'm an native student. I want to know whether there is any effect visa rejection possibility on my student visa if I apply for a spouse visitor visa the same time. I'm planning to do a level 7 diploma in technology management course in August intake at Aspire to International Christchurch campus. Hey, yes, as such, there is no issue, to be honest, if you apply for your spouse visitor visa at the same time as you put in your student visa. Because, hey, look, in fact, recently my colleague Mary, who is also based here in Hamilton, she actually was interacting with one of the senior officers in immigration department, and he actually suggested that it is a good idea to apply the visas as early as possible, and sometimes probably even simultaneously along with the student visa, to just go ahead and put it in. So yeah, so I don't think there'll be any adverse effect on your application. Yes, in fact, I think immigration department would actually appreciate giving them adequate time to look at both the applications. All right. So hope I've answered your question, and thank you so much for choosing AJV and New Zealand. We are very, very grateful for that. And I promise you, you'll continue to get the best support from us even after you reach New Zealand. And for all of you watching who would like a similar deal from us, who would like really, really good support after you reach New Zealand, if you're in India, you can call us on our toll-free number or send SMS to that short code number or email us at info@ajvglobal.com. If you're already in New Zealand and want some advice, just pick up and call that toll-free number, which is 0800 my NZPR, which will be 0800 or just email immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com. If you're not from India or from New Zealand, and if you want to get in touch with us, you can use any one of those email addresses. You can either email info@ajvglobal.com or immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com. And you guys and girls have the choice of choosing whether you want to work with our team in India or you want to work with our team in New Zealand. We are happy to work with you, irrespective of wherever you are. The advantage, of course, is if you're based in India and you work with our Indian team, then the time zone will remain the same, which means you will be able to get immediate updates on your application. If you decide no, I only want to work with the team in New Zealand, yes, you can work with us, but please bear in mind that by the time you wake up, we will almost be completing our day's work, and so there will be a delay in case you're asking us for any queries. So my suggestion would be, if you are in New Zealand, decide to work with our New Zealand team. If you're in India, decide to work with our India team. And if you're in some other parts of the world, take a call in to see which times align best with you. And I would say that is the best way to take it forward. Okay, cool. Okay, Aman Kazmi says, "Sir, I have been waiting for more than 3 months for my student visa. Should I wait for one more month or just apply for another country? I have been emailing the immigration department, but all the reply is my application is accepted. Immigration officer yet to be assigned." Aman, I know this is a terrible, terrible situation for you. So what I would recommend is just hang in there, my friend. You've already invested a lot of time, money, and effort into this whole thing. So I would say hang in there for a month longer. And again, you have not mentioned whether you've applied through, AJV. I don't think you are an AJV client, because if you're an AJV client, my team would have given me an update by now. So I think that is the only thing. So I would say just hang in there, because you've already put in such a lot of time, money, and effort into this. Yeah, and even after a month later, if it's still not happening, then yeah, which is a very sad thing for New Zealand, because we all of us work very hard to attract good, smart, young students to come into New Zealand, and unfortunately, because of this delay, and again, like I said, I mean, you can't really blame anybody except some people who were supposed to do this forward planning and sitting in Wellington, and should have kind of, forecast what the demand was going to be, and because of which it was going to create a surge, and so yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but I think news is that it'll all be sorted out in the next couple of months. Okay, so just be patient, guys. All right. Okay, Parthamesh Satankar. I have master's degree in construction management. I'm looking for skilled immigration to New Zealand. I'm in Dubai working as a planning engineer. I have 7 years of work experience, out of which 3 years is in ME. All right. So, and I have some feedback about you, Prathamesh, from my team in India. They said that you're looking for the skilled migrant category job search visa, and that you have already been informed to send your CV along with your wife, so that a licensed advisor like myself or Mary can do an assessment and send it back to you. Alternately, you've also been suggested the study and settle pathway, where the wife could do a master's and you can come on a work visa from day one, and your wife has got a bachelor's and diploma in arts background, and so that is something that my team has already suggested. So Prathamesh, I think from your question and the feedback that my team gave me, I can see quite clearly that your long-term aspiration is to settle in New Zealand, and you want to get migration. You want to migrate to New Zealand and be able to live here permanently in this country. So, which is great because we are looking for skilled migrants, and we want people like you, especially with your skills, to come and become part of New Zealand because we have a shortage of this skilled migrants here in this country. So you have two options. You may qualify, but quite frankly, because I've done so many of these assessments, I can tell you that if you have only 7 years of work experience, you may not quite get the required number of points to apply for a skilled migrant category job search visa. Because if you have 10 years of work experience, then you tend to get more points towards your work experience, and that will take you up to 160 or more points, which is where you can then make an application for a skilled migrant category job search visa. So, quite frankly, without getting into the details of your CV, I don't think you will qualify for the skilled migrant category job search visa, which leaves you only with the second option, which is your study and settle pathway, which is working like a charm for couples. Especially we've had a lot of couples from the Middle East just like yourself who have come into New Zealand, and they have used this pathway where one of the people, and you have a fantastic background, by the way, with your engineering as well as your work background, and everything else is brilliant, by the way, and I think you'll find a job very quickly. So I think it's a great idea for your wife to come on a master's course, and you come here on a work visa, and I think in a few months time you will find a job, and the moment you find a job, you will actually cross 200 points, and you can apply for your resident visa. And even while you study, your wife is still studying, she can also be included into that resident visa, and it will work like a charm. And because you will be coming to New Zealand through a company like AJB, we will be talking to you and guiding you at each and every step and ensure that you reach your goal. All right, Prathamesh, so that will be my sincere advice to you, because it's working very, very well for people. So, if, because you're already in touch with my colleague Ruben, continue to speak to him, and I think we will progress it from there. But like I said, because I do this so many times, I can say that if you don't have minimum 10 years of work experience, it is highly unlikely you will reach 160 points, which means you will not be eligible for the skilled migrant category job search visa. All right, Prathamesh. So do consider the study plus settle pathway very seriously, because I think you will do very well. All right, cool. Okay, okay. Sujat Veerasinghe. It is so amazing, guys, to see so many of our Sri Lankan clients turning up today for this session. Because, in fact, I think somebody recently asked us a question saying, "Are we a company that works only with Indian clients?" And I said, "Of course not. What are you saying? It's just that India is where we get most of our clients from at the moment, and but that is India's sends clients to practically every part of the world, in majority, along with China, of course, being the two most populous countries. But we are here as a New Zealand-based company to deal with every client from each and every corner of the world, and we are very privileged and honored to have our wonderful clients like Sujit and everybody else. Prasanna, recently also from Sri Lanka, got his visa, is going to be landing here. So, and we already have a really, really good track record with our Sri Lankan clients. So, looking forward to working with all of you guys. And hey, Sujit, thank you so much for choosing AJV. Right, really appreciate it, and I hope to see you here very soon. All right, cool. So, anyhow, your question is, dear Mr. Arun, I'm AJV client. I received offer letter for level 9 course and applied visa accordingly. As of now, it's been 65 days, but my course starting on 25th July. I'm worried that I'll not receive visa on time. Is there something we can do to expedite the process? My case officer is Ms. Jagruti. Sujit, I already explained. If you kind of rewind this a little bit, you will see I've already explained. We are trying everything from our side to, exert gentle but professional pressure on Immigration Department of New Zealand. And because you're going for a master's, and because that's at a higher level of study, I'm sure they will give you some, kind of prioritization. But please bear with us. We're doing our best from our side. And I just explained it elaborately just a little bit before. But I promise you, every day we are exerting a little bit of pressure. In fact, yesterday we got 5 approvals, and I think another 37 or 38 of our applications are still pending with Immigration Department of New Zealand. Not just July, but some future months as well. So we are gently but surely trying getting this out. All right, Sujit. So please hang in there, and we are doing our best for you. Okay, Muhammad Matin says, I have gap of 9 years after degree. Can I apply for New Zealand? Matin has not shared his number, but I'll say, yeah, no problem. We've worked with people with a massive gap after their studies. So no problem, Matin. Get in touch with our team and we will definitely take a look at your profile and help you. All right, cool. Peregrine asks, hi Arun, I'm an AJB client from Dubai. Just want to ask you about the acceptable police clearance validity that the immigration will accept. Thank you. Peregrine, you will need to have police clearance certificates from your country of citizenship as well as the country where you're living at the moment. I can't quite make out your nationality from your name, but if let's say you're an Indian who's living in the Middle East, then more than likely you will require the police clearance certificates of India as well as Dubai as well. But hey, look, tell you what, because you're already in touch with Grace Daniel, who is one of our visa officers, and she works in the team of an ex-immigration officer, who again reports to another ex-immigration officer, very senior ex-immigration officer. So between all of them, they'll give you the right advice. Right now, I can't recall exactly because I don't know whether you're an Indian working in Dubai or not. I don't have your details. I will not be able to give a very elaborate answer. But continue to stay in touch with Grace, and if you for whatever reason, if you think Grace is not able to provide the information you want, ask to speak to our supervisor, who is an ex-immigration officer, and you will get all the information. All right, and I hope to see you here in New Zealand soon. My mandatory cough in the middle of my live session. Okay, Ashutosh has shared his number and he says he's from Nepal. He says he has completed his BTech in civil engineering and now he wants to work in New Zealand. What I had to do, please help me. Ashutosh, go to my personal YouTube channel called Arun Jacob. Just go to YouTube and type Arun Jacob, and this face will pop up. And one of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel says, "How can I find a job in New Zealand and settle down there?" So my suggestion is have a look at that video. But the gist of that video is that it's not very easy, almost impossible to find a job in New Zealand when you're not present in the country. And I've spent about 10 minutes explaining why in that. So have a look at that and then seriously consider the study plus settle pathway, because you are a civil engineer and we have a shortage of civil engineers in the country at the moment. So if you want to make a small investment of money, time, and effort, come in as an international student, do a course, pick up your post study work visa, and work towards a job and settlement. I think that might work well for you. All right, cool. And Peregrine, I just got confirmation that you're actually from the Philippines and that you have already been advised by Grace that you will need to get your police certificates from both the places, which is Philippines as well as from Dubai as well. All right, cool. Sanjo Vincent says he's an AJB client. Hi, sir. Myself, Sanjo. Now I'm working with AJB for a Vintech admission. I regularly try to follow your live session. I want to clear one doubt that if I don't get a job in the same field after my master's, is it same like all the doors are closed for migration? Kindly answer my question. Sanjo, it's an interesting question. And if you're coming to Wintec, first of all, very good choice. You're coming to the city where I live, so you guys will catch up sometime or the other for sure. And if you're going to come here for a master's, you get 3 years of post-study work visa, Sanjo. And 3 years is a long time, Sanjo. And you obviously haven't mentioned what course you're coming for. But if you're coming for a course in which is in one of our long-term skill shortage areas, there is a very, very high possibility that you will find a job in that area. I understand, you're kind of looking at the worst case scenario and thinking what will happen if I don't get a job. So the rule does say that you need to find a job that is relevant to the course that you have completed. Now, if you don't find a job in that particular relevant area, the interesting aspect for you could be that you could also find a job that is relevant to the bachelor's that you already have. And there are, I can't, again, like, I can't get too much into detail because this is a live session for an hour and I have to answer a lot of other questions. But there are ways and means. So technically, you could find a job that is relevant to the bachelor's that you already did before you came to New Zealand, or you could also find a job that is relevant to the masters that you have completed in New Zealand. So either ways, I think you'll be good. And 3 years, two particular angles, and a team like AGV in Hamilton to help you, I think you'll be good, Sanjay. Don't look too much at the negative side of life. Always look at it and say my glass is half full and not half empty. So come in with good confidence, with a positive attitude and lots of confidence. And we guys are there. We are there to talk to all the time and continue to give you that pep talk. All right, cool. Okay, Harshal Chaudhary, same question about visas. Will I get my visa? I have already answered that. Bharat is again asking a question, and Bharat is one of our students, so I'm going to answer that question. And I have feedback from Bharat's, case being handled by one of our visa officers, and I have feedback from the team leader of that visa officer. It says Bharat is going to AUT for a postgraduate diploma. Um, Okay, and and it's my team leader says that they're definitely going to be filing your visa application this week, Bharat. So it looks like you're on track, Bharat, and your question is you're going to apply for student visa this Thursday, which is what my team confirms as well. And your course is starting in October. Will I get my visa? Oh, I think definitely, Bharat, because I think the big crisis that the immigration department is having, I think, will is getting sorted out. And as it keeps getting sorted out, I think you should be fine. And like I said, we will keep exerting that gentle but professional pressure from our side as well. But the simple answer to your question, Bharat, I think you'll be just fine on because your course start is in October. All right, cool. Next question is from Palak Matharu, not an AJV client. Very bad, Palak. I don't like people who say they're not an AJV client. You have to become an AJV client. But hey, look, it shared your telephone number, so I shall stick to my part of the deal and give you my answer. And it says, "Hello, sir. I have got my visa filed by myself for Masters in Applied Management from Otago Polytechnic, Auckland, with 6 years of work experience in fund accounting. Are there opportunities for me for settling down?" Quite frankly, Palak, um, you seem to have a very specific interest in fund accounting, which is sounds like a specialty inside the field of accounting. So you were probably, I mean, I don't know, it's probably too late for me to suggest this, but you were probably better off getting into a much more core accounting kind of a course. If you were coming to New Zealand through AJBV, that's probably what we would have recommended very strongly to you. But at the same time, doing an applied management course is not a bad thing, and you will basically you're increasing your base of opportunities with not just accounting, but you could technically look at administration, marketing, finance, sales, retail, whatever other papers you have in there. So when you settle down, yeah, I mean the opportunities will be there. But like I said, it would have been nice if you were coming as our student. We could have kind of worked with you a bit more intimately from day one and work with you on a particular. I like I said, if instinctively I would have told you to get into an accounting course, and once you land here, we would have also introduced you to some local chartered accountants and stuff like that. We could have done certain things, but hey, look, coming to New Zealand on your own. So all the best, and yeah, the opportunities are there. It's just how you find them for yourself and are able to go for it, and which is really where it's a little painful for me to say that that we will not be able to assist you in any way because you're not an AJV student, and we are committed to working with our AJV students and clients, and that's the reason we may not be able to offer any support to you. But New Zealand as a country definitely has got opportunities. It would have been nice if you had a local coach here in the form of of me and my rest of my team members. But nevertheless, I'm sure you're a smart young person, and I'm sure you'll find out your own way forward. All right, cool. Nazim Sheikh, how can one become a part of your team post today? Nazim, I don't know if you're talking about if you're already in New Zealand and you want to help to, get some further visas, just contact us on our New Zealand numbers, which is 0800 my NZPR, which equates to 696977. If you look at the keyboard and you'll look at 696977, it will be MYNZPR. So give us a call, Nazim, and on 0800 we work 9 to 9. So we should be able to pick up your call, and one of our advisors will get in touch with you. And hey, look, if I know, I mean, I understand, not everybody came into New Zealand as an AJB client, or student. We would love it, of course, and that's where we are hoping to get to eventually. We're setting ourselves some very, very ambitious targets, and we want to be like the biggest student recruitment company for New Zealand, and do it very honestly, very clearly, very transparently, accurately, licensed manner, have 24/7 service, all those kinds of things. So, in fact, we are setting up our first public facing office in Hamilton in the next 2 3 weeks. I'll of course make an announcement about that, and then we plan to have an office in each and every city across New Zealand where AJV students can walk in and have that kind of interaction with our people and stuff like that. But Nazim, you can definitely give us a call on those numbers if you're already in New Zealand. It is 0800 my NZPR, or just write to immigration advisor at ajvglobal.com and ask what is it that you would like as a service. And once you become a paid client for AJV, you will definitely become a part of Team AJV. All right, cool. Okay, I've already answered Sujit's question. There's the next one from Sadaf Imran Sabir, and he says, I'm from Pakistan, internal auditor, United Bank Limited, Pakistan, 10 years experience, 40 years old, MBA banking and finance. So, not sure what you're asking, uh, Sadaf, because I don't know. I mean, if you're saying you're looking at migrating, probably not possible because internal auditors are not in our direct migrations. Definitely not possible because internal auditors are not in our long-term skill shortage list at the moment. So you will not get the required number of points to make a valid skill migrant category job search visa kind of an application. But since you've shared your number, Sadaf, what we will do is we'll get in touch with you and put forth this other opportunity, which is a study plus settle pathway. 40 years is, I mean, it's a relatively young age and the right time to do it, because if you keep getting older, because bear in mind for New Zealand, we stop our immigration allocating any points towards skilled migrant category applicants at 55. So you're still, well within that range. 15 years of range is still what you have. So I would say have a chat with us. We'll send you some details. Take a look at the study plus settle pathway. Perhaps your wife could come on a master's and you could come on a, work visa, and in that sense, come here and pick up a relevant job, and that will kind of set you up to apply for a resident visa in New Zealand. And the other advantage is, of course, if you have kids and you're going to come here with kids, they will also be treated as domestic students, which means that you will not have to pay a lot of fees for their studies. I think it's a great advantage, so do definitely take a look at that opportunity, and one of our team members will get in touch with you shortly. All right. Vinayak Nilachkar says, "Hi, sir. I'm an AGV student." Um, and he says, I have an unconditional offer from Wintech for level 7 Feb 2020 intake. And My query is, when can my spouse join me in New Zealand? Is it only after the completion of course? All right. Hey, good question, Vinayak. And first and foremost, thank you for choosing HFE. Much appreciated that. I got some feedback about you from my team. It says you're working with a visa officer called Grace Daniel, who is a fantastic visa officer, by the way, and that you have offers from Wintech as well as from ARA. Fantastic. And apparently, you have not discussed about your spouse with Grace, but anyway, you've asked me, so I'm going to discuss it with you. So, if you're going to do a level 7 course, your spouse cannot accompany you on a work visa, but she can accompany you definitely on a visitor visa. So if your course is for that 1 year and you're coming in 2020 February, let's say your course gets over in November of 2020, for that whole year, your spouse can be present in New Zealand, but she will not be eligible for a work visa because your course level will not allow her to get a work visa. But she can be here on a visitor visa. While she's here on a visitor visa, based on your partnership, of course, if on her own merit she goes and gets a job, she can apply for a work visa. And as you know, being an AGV client, we can advise you locally what kind of work visa we can look at for her. If she is not able to go and get her own work and get a work visa, then the other thing is you can have your spouse here with you while you're studying on a visitor visa. The moment you complete your course, you can apply for your post-study work visa, and at that time, your spouse again automatically becomes eligible to apply for a work visa. So that's the way it works, Vinayak. So continue to stay in touch with our team. And I just got the feedback from my team that you did not disclose about your spouse to Grace. I request all AJB clients to please be open and transparent with your visa officers and our advisors and the team leaders and everybody else who's interacting with you, because the more information you share with us, we can provide a better service to you in terms of advice, as well as what application has to be put on your behalf and things like that. So yeah, good question, and I hope I've answered that clearly. All right, thanks, Vinayak, and I hope to see you here in February 2020. Come to Wintech, especially if you're a good cricket player, because I'm quite certain I'm going to have my cricket team in place by that time. AJV 11. All right, cool. Evangeline Olaire. Okay, Evangeline Allaire. Hey, Arun, sir. Arun, I'm not a student of AJV. Come on, Evangeline. You can't start off by saying you're not an AJV. You have to become an AJV student. But I follow following your videos. Thank you. It's always good to have fans. I'm interested to study in Hamilton for a level 8 in applied business, but it was not in Wintech's list of courses. Okay, if you want to do a level 8 in applied business eventually, then we could possibly. Well, I also got feedback eventually that you're also in touch with my colleague Neha, and that she is awaiting your documents. So please send your documents at the earliest, because if you're keen to come only to Hamilton, Wintech is one option, of course, but then there is also the option of the University of Waikato. And because you're choosing to do level 8, which is essentially a postgraduate diploma, I'm quite certain we should be able to find something that matches your profile in the University of Waikato, whether you're going to Wintech or whether you're going to University of Waikato. Because you're going for a level 8, you will require a 6.5 in IELTS academic with no band score less than 6. So I would say we will definitely, look at all the options for you. And I'm not sure why you are so specific only at looking at Hamilton. If you're coming only to watch my live sessions, then you could be anywhere in the world and watch it live. But hey, look, with jokes apart, I think you should kind of keep your options open to any city across New Zealand. You're anyway traveling halfway across the world to be here. So how does it matter which city you end up in? And we will, of course, guide you to the right place, of course. But I'll say keep your options open for all cities in New Zealand, because then you will find the right course. But for whatever reason, you want to come only to Hamilton, you might have a family here or friends here or whatever, and you want to only be in Hamilton. I'm sure Neha and her team leader and all of us together will be able to find the right option for you, Evangeline. So yeah, it'll be awesome to work with you and look forward to welcoming you to Hamilton. Cool. And next time you type, I'm sure Are we going to see I'm now an AJV student, which is what I want to hear from each and everybody watching this right now, including Anjana Vijaydas, who's just joined us, and she's our latest student here in Hamilton. Hey, Anjana, welcome to Hamilton. I'll give you a call soon after this live session is over. All right, cool. Next question. Man, this is hard work. It's from Ashwin Wike, and he says, Sir, I completed BSc Mathematics and planning to come to New Zealand for graduate diploma in personal finance planning. Please share your opinion about the course and its possibilities of getting job in New Zealand. Okay, Ashwin, right away I can see that there's a bit of a mismatch between what you did in your BSc, which is mathematics, and now you're planning to do something in personal finance planning. I mean, which is it's a good subject. I'm not saying it's not a bad subject, but for a guy who did 3 years of BSc mathematics, why don't you try and stick to something that's a bit more technical and which will come under STEM, which, as you know, is science, technology, engineering, and management. Because sorry, mathematics. You already have a background in STEM, and STEM subjects are what this entire world is trying to, attract and bring into their countries. And you're already a STEM student with a BSc in mathematics, and for some reason, it looks like you're, uh, you know, uh, uh, moving away from it. Unless you're already a guy who's had unless you're a guy who's already moved away from mathematics quite some time ago, and now you're kind of trying already been involved with finance for some time, then absolutely, I don't see any reason why you should not choose. Um, why you should not choose a course in business finance personal finance planning. But tell you what, have a chat with our team. But if I were you, I would stick to STEM, because that's the shortages that we have here in New Zealand. But if you have a very keen interest in personal finance planning, and you want to shift your career and move into that, we will work with you. We will definitely work with you. We will not force feed somebody's STEM subjects just because it's in the shortage list of New Zealand. We will work with you and try to help you to achieve your career goal as well. All right, Ashwin. So please respond to my team when they get in touch with you. We would love to have a conversation with you. And the way our team works is there's an advisor who will first interact with you. Then this advisor himself or herself is a very, very full-on professional, because we train them all the time and they know as much as I do. But for whatever reason, they don't have all the answers to your queries. They go upwards to their team leader, who is an ex-immigration officer, and one of them is about to become a licensed advisor like me. And then above that, we have the senior managers, who are again been in this industry for 50 years. Above that, we have the country manager, who again is a person with like tons of background in immigration matters and education matters. And then there is, of course, myself, who's also, I think, reasonably knowledgeable about uh, New Zealand education and migration. So yeah, that's the way we guys work. So we just don't randomly. I've seen some of the other companies where there'll be a young kid sitting at a table who's trying to give advice to another fellow 22-year-old kid. I was like, how does that work? I mean, what does a little young kid sitting by the table know? So our advisors are all mature. They've been through trainings. If they're not able to answer that question, there's an immediate, step up and a ladder where they can keep going upper and upper till it reaches me all the way. And sometimes we have this beautiful, discussion happening all the time online, where all of us are sharing our ideas and thoughts and knowledge. And so that's the reason, guys and girls, you will be always be assured of a good solution from HJV. So please do choose us. Cool. Question from Amit Ramwani. Uh, Sir, with yours and your hardworking team's effort, her application has been allocated to immigration officer on 26 June, but till date we have not received any call, and her university starts from 11th June. Hey, Amit, in fact, just in the evening before I started this particular live session, I was exchanging some emails. I can't tell it on a public forum with who, but we are trying to stay on top of your case. And we're exerting some gentle pressure, because there was a prior issue with the visa application. Sometimes they don't get prioritized, but because it's already allocated, we will put some pressure, and hopefully we'll get something out. Today is the 2nd of July. Hopefully there is still time for us. We are pushing for it. Like I told you before I started this live session, I was actually working on your case, and we were exchanging some emails with somebody here in New Zealand. So Hopefully, it should all come through. All right, cool. Just hang in there, and yeah, thanks for your patience. And I'm sure I'll see you guys here very, very soon. Okay, cool. Okay, there is a question from Andrew Storms who says, "Sir, do we have any response from Mumbai immigration? This is July, and classes are going to start within weeks." Yeah, I'm an AJV client waiting for visa. It was allocated to a visa officer, but no response. Same answer, Andrews. Like I said, we are doing everything we can from our side. In fact, we're doing some out of the ordinary things to get them allocated. And once they're allocated, at least there is much. I think our chances go up by 60-70% because finally that application is not just sitting in a pile somewhere, but somebody has picked it up and beginning to read that. So, the chances of that being worked upon would be much higher. So, if it is allocated, I think our chances go up quite significantly, and we are exerting that pressure. Also, bear in mind because we are licensed advisors, we can pick up the phone and talk to our dedicated licensed immigration advisor hotline, and we can also get the name of which officer it has been allocated to, and then we can send an email to that particular officer and put some pressure. So we are doing everything from our side, guys. So please, I can tell you that we are doing so much more than most of the people. That much I can very confidently state about this. And it's actually, I mean, to be honest, we are trying to kind of deal with a situation which was not of our doing, but I really appreciate everybody's that. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to answer one last question and then I'm out. Thank you very much, Sai. My colleague, my dear colleague Sai, has pasted a question that's about this big, and that's like the last one for the day. Really, Sai? And I thought you were my bloody friend. Okay. This is from Jibin Peter. It says, "Hi, sir. I'm AJB client." Hi, Jibin. Good to hear that. Um, I've been in talks with Catherine and Sai, and they've been really helpful. Good to know that. I'll give them both a raise. After your suggestions on supply chain, considering my previous study, I've changed my mind, and I know it as well that you're not a big advocate for choosing management courses. But what is your opinion on PG diploma in applied management, if not any other course? As I'm not too confident going for technical course because my academics in past were not that great. My undergrad was in engineering and no job experience. Thanks. Jibin, I still continue to stick to what I said. If you were a guy with at least a little bit of experience, I would definitely encourage you to get into applied management. You have such a beautiful background in electronics and instrumentation, and that is what I want as a New Zealander for my country. That's the skill I want here in this country, Jibin. And here's a guy who's got that skill saying I will not use that skill. So it is very traumatic for me to sit here and kind of visualize a situation where a good engineer like from electronics and instrumentation is now moving into something else. So I'm not happy, to be honest, because and you don't have experience. So when you do an applied management courses are for people with some amount of experience, because then they can take their practical work experience and put a management course on top of that, and then it kind of becomes a much more complete kind of a package. So I'm not happy, Jibin. Again, why? And if your course marks were not good at the undergraduate level in your technical subject, this is a chance to redeem yourself. Get into a graduate diploma. Don't get into a postgraduate diploma or a master's in technical, because again that might be too heavy for you. Get into a graduate diploma. Maybe you need to pick up something like graduate diploma in CAD CAM, which is computer aided design and computer aided manufacturing, which will fit in with your background as an engineer, and that is more hands on. CAD CAM is a bit more hands on, so you might be able to pick it up a little bit better. And why don't you pick a course that still is related to electronics and instrumentation, but not at a level which will kind of make you freak out because it's too tough? Do a graduate diploma outside Auckland. You will still get a 2 years post study work visa, and I'm sure you'll be able. And because we have a shortage of people in technical areas, Japan, and not so much in the management side of things. And that's the reason I see it's so easy for me to say okay to everything you're asking and say, yeah, sure, Japan, come, do a course in applied management. So much easier. I don't have to put in this effort. But the point I'm trying to make is you come to us, to me, to the rest of my team, because you trust us, you believe in us, and you want our genuine, honest, sincere advice. And this is my genuine, honest, and sincere advice given. You will thank me in a few years' time that I'm asking you to do this. But if you say, no, Arun, I simply cannot tackle a technical course once again, then fine. Just get into your applied management course and all the best. I'm sure your English is good. I can see from the way you've written that there are no spelling mistakes, and your English skill seems to be very good. So yeah, with a good English skill, good confidence, and an applied management qualification from New Zealand, I'm sure, and with 2 or 3 years post study work visa, I'm sure you'll go on to find your place in New Zealand, especially with our help. But if possible, please, please, please stick to your technical subject. All right? That's my sincere suggestion. Okay, people, time to do that. Ring the bell, and well, okay, there we are. And I'm also doing that nowadays. I twirl the top part of it just to show off that the thing turns on top. Okay, so brilliant as always, everybody. Pleasure to sit here and talk about New Zealand education migration opportunities. And sorry to all the people who I could not answer, but my wonderful team will get in touch with you. And for all of you people who want to get in touch with us, you can contact either our India team or our New Zealand team. It does not matter which part of the world you're in. And I'm going to be in, once again, before I close, I'm going to be in India end of this month, 28th, at the Ramada Hotel, Juhu, Mumbai. If you guys want to come and see me, you see that number? Okay, just text yes to 562-633 if you're based in Mumbai or if you're somewhere close by and you want to come and see me. Last time I was in Mumbai, somebody wanted to come and see me from Calcutta, and I dissuaded him, saying, "Don't do all that. I'll be more than happy to speak to you on the phone." Okay, but thanks as always, people. Lovely to catch up with you. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I shall see you next time. Kakiteyano, which is see you later in Maori. Good night. Bye bye.